The accident. On the harsh planet of Zerek 9, survival was a daily battle. The ground was rocky and uneven, filled with sharp stones and thorny plants. Massive beasts roamed the landscape, each one more dangerous than the last. But for the Deathworlders who called this place home, it was just another day. Karn was a strong Deathworlder. He was tall and muscular, with skin that shimmered under the bright suns. He had learned to live in this fierce world, always aware of the threats that lurked around him. Today, Karn set out to hunt for food. He needed to provide for his family, and the hunt was essential. His heart raced with excitement and determination as he stepped into the wild. As he walked deeper into the forest, the sounds of nature surrounded him. Birds screeched high above, and the rustling of leaves echoed through the trees. Karn's eyes scanned the area, searching for signs of movement. Suddenly, he spotted a herd of small creatures grazing in a clearing. They were swift and quick, making them a good target. Karn crouched low, his body tense with focus. He steadied his breath and prepared to launch himself at the prey. Just as he was about to spring into action, a low growl filled the air. Karn's heart dropped. He looked up to see a massive predator, a creature with razor-sharp teeth and glowing eyes. Emerging from the shadows, it was a Grathok, the most feared beast on Zerek 9. The Grathok charged toward him, its powerful legs pounding against the ground. Karn felt the adrenaline surge through his body. He had faced dangers before, but this was different. He knew he had to act quickly. He grabbed his spear, ready to defend himself. As the creature lunged, Karn dodged to the side, narrowly avoiding its deadly jaws. He swung his spear, aiming for the beast's thick hide. But the Grathok was too fast. It twisted in midair, and its claws raked across Karn's arm. Pain exploded through him as he stumbled backward. Blood poured from the wound, and Karn felt the world around him begin to fade. He fought to stay conscious, but the pain was overwhelming. Stay awake, he whispered to himself. He could hear the growls of the Grathok as it circled him, waiting for its chance to strike again. Panic filled his heart as he realized the creature would not stop until it had him. Gathering every ounce of strength, Karn tried to rise, but his vision blurred. He could see the Grathok lunging toward him once more. With a desperate effort, he swung his spear again, but this time he was too weak. The Grathok's jaws closed around his arm. Karn screamed as he felt a sharp snap. The pain was blinding. Everything went dark. When Karn opened his eyes again, he was lying on the forest floor. The Grathok was gone, but he was alone. The world around him was quiet, and a cold wind swept through the trees. He could still feel the throbbing pain in his arm, but it was mixed with a strange numbness. Panic set in as he looked down and saw that his arm was missing. No, he cried out, his voice breaking. He felt tears of despair roll down his face. How could he survive like this? His mind raced with thoughts of his family. What would they do without him? How would they eat? Karn knew he had to get help. With great effort, he struggled to his feet. The forest spun around him, and he stumbled. Every step felt like a mountain to climb. But he was a Deathworlder, and he had learned to endure. He would not give up. Using the trees for support, he moved slowly, making his way back to his home. The pain was sharp, but he pushed through it. Each step brought him closer to his family, and that thought fueled his determination. As he walked, he fought against the fear that threatened to consume him. He was strong. He had to believe that he could make it. Finally, after what felt like hours, Karn saw the familiar outline of his home. It was a simple structure made of wood and stone, built to withstand the storms of Zerek 9. Relief washed over him, but he knew he needed to reach it quickly. Just as he reached the door, darkness began to creep into the edges of his vision again. He staggered and fell to his knees, gasping for breath. The world around him was fading. With one last effort, he pushed himself up and knocked on the door. "Help," he shouted weakly. "Help me." His family opened the door, their faces filled with shock and horror. They rushed to his side, their voices mixing with his cries. But the pain was too much, and as they gathered around him, everything went black once more. Karn's world went silent. He felt himself slipping away, unsure of what would happen next. In the distance, he thought he heard voices, strange and unfamiliar. But for now, he could not hold on. He was a Deathworlder, and he had fought bravely. Yet in that moment, all he could do was surrender to the darkness. The alien medics. When Karn awoke, he was no longer in the familiar embrace of his home. Instead, he found himself lying on a soft bed, surrounded by bright lights and strange machines. Panic surged through him as he struggled to sit up, but a wave of dizziness washed over him, forcing him back down. Where was he? As his eyes adjusted to the light, he noticed figures moving around him. They were not Deathworlders. These beings were tall and thin, with skin that shimmered like silver. Their eyes were large and round, filled with a mixture of concern and curiosity. He realized he was in the presence of aliens, beings he had only heard about in stories. "Stay still," one of them said in a soft, soothing voice. It was a strange sound, but somehow comforting. "You're safe now." Karn blinked, trying to gather his thoughts. "What happened?" he croaked, his voice raspy. "Where am I?" "You were injured," the alien replied, moving closer to examine his arm. "We found you in the forest, and we brought you here for treatment. You are in our medical facility." Karn's heart raced. He remembered the Grathok and the pain. "My arm, where is it?" he asked, panic rising in his chest. The alien paused, its expression changing to one of empathy. "We had to amputate it to save your life. It was severely damaged. We are doing everything we can to help you heal." Karn felt a wave of despair wash over him. He had lost his arm and was now at the mercy of these strange beings. But a flicker of hope ignited within him. They had saved him. "Will I be able to walk again?" he asked, desperation in his voice. The alien nodded. "Yes, with time and proper care. You will regain your strength. You are a resilient creature. We have much to learn from you." Karn's mind raced. Would these aliens truly be able to help him? He thought of his family waiting for him back home, worrying about him. He needed to get back to them, to show them that he was still strong despite his injury. Hours passed as the alien medics worked around him. They used strange instruments and spoke to each other in a language he could not understand. They took samples of his blood and applied salves to his wounds. Karn lay still, observing their movements, trying to understand who they were and what they wanted. Finally, one of the aliens, who appeared to be the leader, approached him again. "We are called the HFY," it said, its voice calm and reassuring. "We travel the stars and help those in need. Your species, the Deathworlders, is quite fascinating to us." Karn struggled to process this information. "Why do you help us? We are not like you," he replied, his voice shaky. The HFY leader tilted its head. "That is precisely why we wish to help. Your kind has survived in extreme conditions, showing great strength and resilience. We have studied many species, but none have adapted to their environment as you have. Your determination intrigues us." Karn felt a mix of pride and suspicion. He was grateful for their help, but why did they want to study him? "I just want to go home," he said softly, his eyes filling with tears. "My family, they must be worried." The leader's expression softened. "We understand. But you need time to heal. You will be well cared for here, and we will do everything in our power to help you return home." Days turned into weeks as Karn remained in the care of the HFY. They continued to treat his wounds and provide him with food and comfort. Each day, he grew stronger, but his heart ached for his family. He learned about the HFY's advanced technology and their medical practices, which were unlike anything he had ever seen. They had machines that could heal wounds faster than he could imagine. They were amazing, but he couldn't shake the feeling of being a specimen in their eyes. One day, the leader approached him with a proposal. "We would like to learn more about your kind, Karn. We have a mission that may require your unique strengths." "What do you mean?" he asked, curiosity piqued despite his reservations. "We have encountered a dangerous creature on one of our missions. It is similar to the Grathok, but much more powerful. We believe that you, with your knowledge of survival on your planet, could help us capture it." Karn's heart raced at the thought. This could be his chance to prove himself and help others, even if they were aliens. "I will help you," he said, determination rising within him. The leader smiled, and Karn felt a sense of camaraderie begin to form between them. Perhaps these aliens were not so different after all. They wanted to understand him, just as he wanted to understand them. With renewed hope, Karn prepared for the challenges ahead, knowing that his journey was far from over. The accident that had taken his arm had led him to a new life, one filled with unexpected adventures. He was ready to face whatever awaited him, armed with the strength he had learned from his death world. Training for the hunt. Karn was now a part of the Xiluri's world, learning their ways and preparing for the hunt that lay ahead. He spent his days in their medical facility, where they combined advanced technology with a deep respect for life. The Xiluri treated him with kindness, and slowly he began to feel a bond forming with these strange beings. As Karn's strength returned, he learned more about the Xiluri and their mission. They traveled across galaxies to help species in distress, using their advanced medical technology and knowledge to heal and protect. However, the Xiluri were facing a new threat, a creature that had been terrorizing a nearby planet. It was said to be even more dangerous than the Grathok that had attacked him. One morning, as Karn practiced his movements, the Xiluri leader, Taris, entered the training room. "Are you ready for your training today, Karn?" it asked, its large eyes shining with enthusiasm. Karn nodded, feeling the surge of determination. "I am ready. I want to help you capture this creature." "Good," Taris said, pleased. "We believe that your experience on your death world gives you unique skills. We will begin with tracking and strategy." Karn felt excitement rush through him. He had spent countless hours in the wilds of his home, learning how to track animals, understand their behavior, and anticipate their movements. Now he would apply those skills in a new context. The training began immediately. Taris showed him the Xiluri way of tracking, using their advanced technology to analyze the environment. They used devices that could scan the ground for signs of movement, detect changes in air pressure, and even pick up subtle sounds. Karn was amazed at how different it was from his own methods, but he quickly adapted, blending his knowledge with theirs. As they practiced, Karn explained how he would track animals on his planet. "You need to understand their habits," he told Taris. "Look for signs like broken branches, footprints, or droppings. Animals often follow the same paths, especially when they're hungry or scared." Taris listened intently, taking notes on a small device that glowed in its hand. "Your knowledge is invaluable, Karn. We will incorporate your methods into our strategy." Days turned into weeks, and Karn trained tirelessly. He learned to navigate the alien landscape and the techniques of the Xiluri warriors. He practiced using their weapons, which were sleek and advanced compared to anything he had ever held. He struggled at first, but soon grew accustomed to their balance and design. In the evenings, he shared stories of his world with the Xiluri. He spoke of the harsh winters and the fierce beasts that roamed the land. He described how Deathworlders learned to adapt and thrive in such an unforgiving environment. The Xiluri listened, fascinated, and Karn felt a sense of pride in sharing his experiences. One day, during a training session, Taris brought him to a large screen displaying a holographic image of the creature they sought to capture. It was enormous, covered in thick scales, with sharp claws and glowing eyes. "This is the creature," Taris explained. "It is aggressive and has caused harm to many. We believe it is hiding in the caves of Xulan. Your insights will help us track it down." Karn studied the image closely, his heart racing. "It looks fierce. We need to be careful. It may be more dangerous than we expect." "Yes," Terrace replied, nodding. "That is why we need your knowledge of survival. If we can understand its behavior, we can devise a strategy to capture it." As the days went by, Karn felt a sense of camaraderie with the HFY warriors. They respected his skills, and he admired their advanced technology. Together, they trained and prepared, blending their methods into a powerful force. Finally, the day of the hunt arrived. The HFY gathered in a large chamber, equipped with their sleek weapons and gear. Karn felt a mix of excitement and apprehension as he stood among them, ready for the challenge ahead. "Today, we will show this creature the strength of unity," Terrace said, its voice echoing in the chamber. "We fight not just for ourselves, but for all who seek peace." As they prepared to leave, Karn felt a surge of determination. He had come a long way from the pain of losing his arm. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a warrior, ready to protect others and embrace the challenge ahead. Together, they set out into the wilds, each step bringing them closer to the unknown. Karn's heart raced, not just from fear, but from the thrill of the hunt. He was ready to prove himself and to show the HFY the true strength of a Deathworlder. "You said, into the depths of the caves." Karn and the HFY warriors trekked through the dense forest, their senses sharp and alert. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sounds of distant creatures echoed around them. They moved as one unit, each warrior focused on the task ahead. The glowing bioluminescent plants lit their path, casting an otherworldly glow. As they neared the entrance to the caves of Xulan, a sense of tension filled the air. Karn could feel his heart racing with anticipation. This would be no ordinary hunt. The creature they sought was not just a beast, but a force of nature, a symbol of the raw power of the Deathworld he hailed from. "We must proceed with caution," Terrace instructed, its voice steady. "This creature is cunning and knows these caves well. We cannot underestimate it." Karn nodded, remembering the stories of beasts from his own world. He recalled how many creatures could blend into their environment, using darkness and shadows to their advantage. "We should move quietly and watch for signs," he said. "Look for tracks or claw marks on the walls." As they entered the cave, the temperature dropped, and the sound of dripping water echoed eerily around them. Karn led the way, his senses heightened. He scanned the ground for signs of the creature's presence. He noticed a series of large footprints that seemed fresh, leading deeper into the cave. "There," he pointed, excitement bubbling in his chest. "Those tracks are recent. The creature is close." The HFY warriors exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of concern and determination. Terrace moved closer to Karn. "You have a keen eye. Let's follow the tracks carefully." They descended deeper into the cave, the darkness enveloping them. The HFY used their advanced technology to illuminate the path ahead, casting eerie shadows on the cave walls. The air grew heavy with the scent of damp stone and something else, a hint of danger. Suddenly, a low growl resonated through the cave, sending chills down Karn's spine. The sound reverberated around them, a warning that the creature was near. He felt the HFY tighten their grip on their weapons, ready for whatever lay ahead. "Stay alert," Terrace whispered. "It knows we are here." As they pressed forward, Karn's heart pounded in his chest. He recalled how he had faced danger before on his Deathworld, relying on his instincts and training. This time was no different, but the stakes felt higher. He was not just hunting. He was fighting alongside allies who had become friends. The passage narrowed, and the temperature continued to drop. Karn could see their breath in the air as they approached a large chamber. The walls glistened with moisture, and strange formations jutted out, resembling twisted sculptures. In the center of the chamber lay a massive pile of debris, bones, and remnants of creatures the beast had claimed. Karn's stomach churned at the sight. "This creature is a predator," he said, his voice low. "We must be cautious." Suddenly, the growl returned, louder and more menacing. The beast burst from the shadows, its massive form emerging with terrifying speed. It was the creature they had seen in the hologram, larger than he had imagined, its scales glinting in the dim light. Karn instinctively took a step back, but Terrace stood firm. "Form a line," it commanded. The Exilari quickly arranged themselves, weapons ready, their posture steady. The creature roared, a sound that shook the very walls of the cave. It lunged forward, its claws slashing through the air. Karn's instincts kicked in as he remembered his training. He had to think quickly. "Flank it. Don't let it surround us," Karn shouted, pointing to the side. The Exilari responded instantly, moving in synchronized motion, circling the creature to keep it at bay. Karn's heart raced as he watched the Exilari warriors engage the beast. They were coordinated, using their technology to create distractions and divert the creature's attention. Yet the beast was relentless, swiping at them with its massive claws, narrowly missing a few warriors. Karn spotted an opening. "Taurus, aim for its legs. If we can bring it down, we'll have the advantage." "Agreed," Taurus called back, adjusting its aim. The Exilari began to focus their attacks on the creature's limbs, striking with precision. The creature roared in fury, turning its attention toward them, exposing its flank. In that moment, Karn felt a surge of courage. He took a deep breath, calling upon everything he had learned. "Now, while it's distracted," he yelled. With determination, Karn darted forward, moving swiftly and silently. He remembered the hunting techniques of his homeworld, relying on speed and stealth. He reached the creature's side, where its thick scales were less protected. Drawing on every ounce of strength, he lunged, aiming to strike. Into the depths of the caves, Karn and the Exilari warriors trekked through the dense forest, their senses sharp and alert. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sounds of distant creatures echoed around them. They moved as one unit, each warrior focused on the task ahead. The glowing bioluminescent plants lit their path, casting an otherworldly glow. As they neared the entrance to the caves of Xulan, a sense of tension filled the air. Karn could feel his heart racing with anticipation. This would be no ordinary hunt. The creature they sought was not just a beast, but a force of nature, a symbol of the raw power of the death world he hailed from. "We must proceed with caution," Taurus instructed, its voice steady. "This creature is cunning and knows these caves well. We cannot underestimate it." Karn nodded, remembering the stories of beasts from his own world. He recalled how many creatures could blend into their environment, using darkness and shadows to their advantage. "We should move quietly and watch for signs," he said. "Look for tracks or claw marks on the walls." As they entered the cave, the temperature dropped, and the sound of dripping water echoed eerily around them. Karn led the way, his senses heightened. He scanned the ground for signs of the creature's presence. He noticed a series of large footprints that seemed fresh, leading deeper into the cave. "There," he pointed, excitement bubbling in his chest. "Those tracks are recent. The creature is close." The Exilari warriors exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of concern and determination. Taurus moved closer to Karn. "You have a keen eye. Let's follow the tracks carefully." They descended deeper into the cave, the darkness enveloping them. The Exilari used their advanced technology to illuminate the path ahead, casting eerie shadows on the cave walls. The air grew heavy with the scent of damp stone. And something else, a hint of danger. Suddenly, a low growl resonated through the cave, sending chills down Karn's spine. The sound reverberated around them, a warning that the creature was near. He felt the Exilari tighten their grip on their weapons, ready for whatever lay ahead. "Stay alert," Taurus whispered. "It knows we are here." As they pressed forward, Karn's heart pounded in his chest. He recalled how he had faced danger before on his death world, relying on his instincts and training. This time was no different, but the stakes felt higher. He was not just hunting. He was fighting alongside allies who had become friends. The passage narrowed, and the temperature continued to drop. Karn could see their breath in the air as they approached a large chamber. The walls glistened with moisture, and strange formations jutted out, resembling twisted sculptures. In the center of the chamber lay a massive pile of debris, bones, and remnants of creatures the beast had claimed. Karn's stomach churned at the sight. "This creature is a predator," he said, his voice low. "We must be cautious." Suddenly, the growl returned, louder and more menacing. The beast burst from the shadows, its massive form emerging with terrifying speed. It was the creature they had seen in the hologram, larger than he had imagined, its scales glinting in the dim light. Karn instinctively took a step back, but Terrace stood firm. "Form a line," it commanded. The auxiliary quickly arranged themselves, weapons ready, their posture steady. The creature roared, a sound that shook the very walls of the cave. It lunged forward, its claws slashing through the air. Karn's instincts kicked in as he remembered his training. He had to think quickly. "Flank it. Don't let it surround us," Karn shouted, pointing to the side. The auxiliary responded instantly, moving in synchronized motion, circling the creature to keep it at bay. Karn's heart raced as he watched the auxiliary warriors engage the beast. They were coordinated, using their technology to create distractions and divert the creature's attention. Yet, the beast was relentless, swiping at them with its massive claws, narrowly missing a few warriors. Karn spotted an opening. "Terrace, aim for its legs. If we can bring it down, we'll have the advantage." "Agreed," Terrace called back, adjusting its aim. The auxiliary began to focus their attacks on the creature's limbs, striking with precision. The creature roared in fury, turning its attention toward them, exposing its flank. In that moment, Karn felt a surge of courage. He took a deep breath, calling upon everything he had learned. "Now, while it's distracted," he yelled. The creature sensed him and turned, but Karn was quick. He rolled under its swiping claw and positioned himself behind it. He delivered a sharp blow to the joint of its leg, hoping to unbalance it. The creature stumbled, roaring in pain and confusion. The auxiliary warriors seized the opportunity. They moved in with a combination of precision and speed, launching a coordinated assault on the creature. With every strike, Karn felt a rush of adrenaline, his instincts guiding him. The battle raged on, and in that moment, Karn realized he was no longer just a survivor. He was part of something greater, fighting alongside that auxiliary for a shared purpose. They were united against a common enemy, and together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. The clutch of fate. The tension in the cave grew thick as the creature approached, its massive form illuminated by the flickering glow of the bioluminescent plants. Karn felt his heart pounding against his chest, a steady drum of determination echoing in time with the soft rustling of the auxiliary warriors as they took their positions. Every muscle in his body was coiled tight, ready to spring into action. "Remember, we're luring it into the narrow passage," Karn whispered to his team. "Stay focused, and when it charges, don't hesitate." With a deep breath, Karn stepped forward, making himself visible to the creature. He waved his arms and shouted, drawing its attention. "Over here, come and get me." The creature paused, its massive head turning toward Karn. Its eyes glowed with a fierce intelligence, and it let out a low growl that reverberated through the cave. Karn felt a shiver run down his spine, but he stood firm. The creature charged, its powerful legs propelling it forward like a living avalanche. "Now," he shouted, signaling his team to scatter. They moved swiftly, positioning themselves along the sides of the glowing passage, ready to trap the beast. As the creature barreled toward him, Karn's heart raced. He dodged to the side just in time, feeling the rush of wind from its charge as it rushed past him. The ground shook beneath him, but he quickly regained his footing and sprinted toward the narrow passage. The auxiliary warriors watched from their positions, waiting for the perfect moment. The creature, now fully committed to its charge, didn't realize it was heading straight into the trap. "Get ready," Terrace shouted from the other side of the passage. "It's coming." Karn glanced back just as the creature reached the entrance to the narrow passage. It paused, sensing something was off, but it was too late. The warriors surged forward, flanking the creature from both sides. "Now," Taurus commanded. The Exilari unleashed a flurry of attacks, striking at the creature's sides and hind legs. It roared in pain and fury, trying to twist its massive body to fight back. Karn joined in, aiming for its legs to destabilize it further. Together, they pressed the attack, each warrior lending their strength to the effort. But the creature fought back with a ferocity that was terrifying. Its massive claws slashed through the air, narrowly missing Karn as he ducked and dodged. The cave trembled with every blow, and the ground felt unstable beneath their feet. Yet they had the advantage of numbers and teamwork. "Don't give up," Karn yelled, rallying his comrades. "We can do this." They pressed the attack, their weapons striking true. The creature stumbled, its powerful legs giving way as they managed to land blows on its joints. It let out a deafening roar, thrashing in desperation. The warriors fought with everything they had, driven by a shared purpose and an unyielding spirit. In the midst of the chaos, Karn's determination soared. He had come so far, from a healer on his homeworld to a warrior standing against a fearsome beast. The courage of his Exilari allies fueled his strength, and he felt an unbreakable bond forming among them. They were fighting not just for survival, but for each other. As the creature continued to thrash, it suddenly reared back, preparing to unleash another burst of energy. The bioluminescent plants flickered ominously, casting eerie shadows on the cave walls. "Get back," Karn shouted, sensing the danger. The warriors quickly scattered, taking cover as the creature released a wave of energy. The ground shook violently, and the light from the plants erupted in a dazzling display, creating an explosion of colors that momentarily blinded everyone. Karn shielded his eyes, feeling the rush of heat wash over him. The force of the energy burst was immense, and he was thrown back against the cave wall. He hit the ground hard, gasping for breath as the dust settled around him. When he opened his eyes, he saw the creature stumbling, weakened but still standing. The blast had taken a toll on it, but it wasn't done yet. Karn knew they had to act quickly before it could recover. With renewed determination, he struggled to his feet. His body ached, but the thought of his friends pushed him forward. "We can't give up," he shouted, his voice rising above the chaos. "We have to finish this." The Exilari rallied around him, their resolve strong despite the odds. They regrouped and prepared for one final push, drawing on their collective strength. Taurus stood beside Karn, its eyes fierce with determination. "Together," it said, raising its weapon high. "For our survival." Karn nodded, feeling the fire of battle within him. "For each other," he shouted, and Exilari echoed his words, their voices blending into a powerful battle cry. As one, they charged forward, closing the distance to the creature. With every ounce of strength they had left, they struck at the beast, their determination merging into a single force that would not be denied. The creature let out one last roar, a mixture of anger and pain, as the combined might of the Exilari and Karn overwhelmed it. With a final, desperate thrash, it collapsed to the ground, the life fading from its enormous body. Breathless and battered, Karn and the Exilari warriors stood victorious over the fallen beast. The cave was silent now, the only sound being their heavy breathing. They had fought against a formidable foe and emerged triumphant, their bond stronger than ever. Karn looked around at his comrades, relief flooding through him. They had faced a terrible challenge and had come together in a way he had never imagined possible. In that moment, he realized that they were not just warriors. They were a family forged in the fires of battle. As they began to celebrate their hard-won victory, Karn felt a new sense of purpose within himself. He had transformed from a healer into a warrior, and together with the Xilari, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead.